record button again. I got so excited about not being able to hear, I forgot to turn on the record button. Oh, this is terrible. But we'll get through it again.
But
that's the second time. Third time I'm out. Lindsay, get ready to take over for me. Okay. On the left side, you'll see a box that says "Tell a Little Bird." Now, what you want to do is you want to click on that, because when you click on that, it brings up a dialog box, and then you click in that dialog box where it says "Post Tweet," and that sends to all your Twitter followers that you're on a blab. You're watching the blab. And that's a good way to help you increase your viewership, or to get people to let them know what you're doing and that you're on a blab. Giving props. Okay. You can see that each person, if you roll over and put your pointer on each person in the square, and you click on your mouse, you see my picture popping up there? Okay, that's giving props to Stan. That's giving props to Lindsay. And that lets them know that you agree with what they're saying and you like what they're talking about. Now, they don't last. At the end of the blab, they all disappear. Your blab profile. Now, your blab profile matches your Twitter profile, but it doesn't have to. You can change it to better suit your message if you want to. Blabbers roll over each other's profiles to find out about them. Sometimes the decision to follow is made on the information. Now, here's how you change it. In the top right-hand side of the page is your profile picture. If you click on that, you'll see a drop-down menu come down. It says start a new blab. Now, don't click on this one, especially if you're in the blab in one of the squares. Don't click on profile, because that'll take you right out of the blab. But what you want to do is you want to click on settings, and that brings up a box where you can make some changes to your profile. And you can do this while you're in the blab, by the way. You'll see the fields there: your name, your email address, and your bio. The information in the bio field is what is displayed when someone rolls over your profile picture. When you make changes, the change is immediate. There's a little line that says image. So if you want to change the image that you have on Blab from what you have on Twitter, you can do that. I don't like to do that. I like to have my image the same on all my social media profiles. That way people can see me and they look at me and they say, there's that guy that makes all the mistakes on Blab, and we'll follow him. And we kind of like it that we don't have to be perfect, because he sure isn't perfect. Now, the other thing is, I'm here in the group of the Circadians, and I'm registered in there. So my picture is showing up. I have it in there that it shows up on this page, so you see me and not the logo for the Circadians. And you can make that change. You can do those things. Also, in that settings, you can change your desktop iOS notifications. You can turn them on, turn them off, and that's all kind of self-explanatory in the settings. Now, there's other neat things that are under your profile page. Your profile shows the number of days you've been on Blab. If you've already hosted some Blabs, they will be viewable on your page under the replay. You can see a list of your followers and who is following you on your profile page. If you look at your followers' profiles, you can see if they follow you back. You can't see the follow. It's mutual from the following list. Now, if my pages would unstick here, we'll keep on going. How you can participate. Each blab can have 4 blabbers, including the host. The host sits in the top left square. The host determines how many seats will be open, and they can decide who will be in the blab in one of those seats and rotate them in and out. Now, on the right-hand side, you're going to see the comment stream, and everybody's probably participating in this and making comments. And simply type your comment in the bottom box that says "Say something cool," and hit enter. Your comment will be added to the stream. Now, if you have a question, you can type /U space and type in your question. That'll bring a little gray box that says question. You type your question, and when that shows up, it'll show up as a question, just like Stan did there. Everybody see that? That's what you do if you have a question. Now, also at the top for the host, there you'll see a box for the host, and you're not going to see this, but I see it. It says comments, and next to it, it has Q's and @me. If I click on that, that'll bring up all the questions that were asked, and I get to see just the questions. So it's kind of neat for the host to have. Rolling over your name of somebody in the comment stream, like if I put my name over NC Roxanne, you're going to see a star and a reply arrow. Now, a lot of times people they click them, they want to talk to somebody and make a comment, they're typing in their name. You don't have to do that. Click on that reply arrow. That'll put their name, their @name in the comment box, and you can type the comment and it'll go right to them. They'll see it. Now, if you like a comment that somebody made, you click on that star next to their name, and a number 1 will come up, or if you're the second person that liked it, a number 2 will come up, and that'll let them know that you like the comment that they have. Okay, we went over clicking on the star. Now, join the Blab, that's very easy to do. One more thing I want to mention here. If you're the host and you have technical problems other than being a little stupid, not knowing what you're doing, you can ask for help. And all you do, now don't do this because we don't need the Blab team coming in and giving us help. We kind of figured out that it's my fault most of the time here. If you type the @ and help, somebody will see it on the Blab team, and a lot of times they will jump right in and give you the technical help you need and try to square the problem away. They're really great at that. Joining a Blab, it's not that hard to do. You just simply click on join in the open seat, and if the host lets you in, you join the Blab and you continue on the conversation. Again, what you want to do if you're in a Blab and the host lets you in, try and stay on the topic. We have a topic for a reason usually, and you stay on the topic and make your comments about the topic at hand. If the host wants to change the topic, he can do that, but we're not going to get into that right now. We'll do that at a later time, I think. But the topic can be changed. Now, what about following? While blabbing, you will have the opportunity to meet and collaborate with people from all over the world. You may want to follow some of these people to find out when they're on Blabs and active within the community. There are several ways to do this within Blab. Since we are working with just the interface within a Blab, here are a few ways you can find people to follow. The people in the frames. At the top of each frame, you will see a small bar. Like okay, Stan? The ones over here at the top, the very top. Okay, I'm not getting what you're trying to tell me.
We're just pointing up to the
top. We're just pointing to our little box up there.
We're just being our usual.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, the little box with the names in. Today is one of those days where my brain isn't working with my mouth. You know, it's just it happens from time to time, and you got to excuse the old guy. Maybe I'd have to go to the doctor and get a pill for this if there's one available.
Is there a pill for this?
You know, it's nothing's cooperating this morning. If I hold my pointer over Lindsay's name, you'll see that the small bar with his name in. You also see their username and picture. There are two actionable things you can do here. Click on their name or username. When you click on their username, you will be presented with their profile and the info. From there, you can decide if you'd like to follow them. You can also see if they are following you. Now, who is viewing a blab? We go all the way to the top, and you see all those little pictures across the top. Those are the people who are viewing the blab. And like now I have my pointer over Roxanne Davenport, and it'll pull down a box, and it'll give you her information. And if you're following her and if she's following you, it'll have that information at the bottom. But it'll also tell you a little bit of information that she has 212 followers and she's following 183 and she's 36 days on Blab. So that can also help you make a decision as to who you want to follow on Blab. Now, that's pretty much covering the information that we wanted to go over, except training for older people and who who are trying to run a Blab and don't know what they're doing. But we'll get into that another time. We might have a private session on that and or a special Blab on training a host. But now I'm ready to take questions. Not really, but because I might not give you the right answers today.
What he's doing is inviting you into the there's an open seat there if anybody wants to come in. There was two comments that I would want to make, or actually three that I would want to make off of this, is that you got through the time thing really good. I mean, it's 25 minutes and it's 10:19, so that leaves about 6 minutes for questions and stuff like that. You did really good. The whole thing about the 25 minutes is that what we want to do is that Blab can be like this really time suck. You know, you go in there and you start talking about one thing, and before you know it, you're in a 3 or 4 hour Blab. So what we want to do is every morning at 10 o'clock, we want to have this Blab. You can always get to it by going to Learn Blab. You just make me laugh, make me harp. Is that you can always go to learnblab.com at 10 o'clock and tell your friends to come here. We've got a loadable PDF. You can feel free to download that and print that off. But we really want to get through what the basics are. There are people who are showing the more detailed stuff about Blab. This is not that. This is just, here's how you get through it without being, like on the very first page, it says that we want to give you the confidence to use Blab, which Ron, because he has that confidence, got through it this morning. That was just super job, man. Super job.
You know, the funny thing is, Stan, I have my sign here that says turn on recorder, and I can't even read my own signs. You know,
well, you got to get the one here, hand it to us, and we'll hand that sign to you next time.
Okay, we'll do that.
The mention of the replays on your profile, that's only if you've recorded. I'm glad you brought that up, because if you don't record it, you're not going to see that over there under your profile. And the other thing is what he was talking about with his image is that what we're about is we don't believe that there's such a thing as one individual. We think everything we do transcends, the individual. And so our goal here is to have more than one moderator, more than one host, and you can get in that cycle and print it off and learn it and be here at 10 o'clock and help others. We want to have the ability for many people to do it. So he's operating under an account called the Circadians. His is Ron. You want to tell him yours, Ron? Ron Schneeberger, right? At Ron Schneeberger?
Yeah, at Ron Schneeberger, yes.
Yeah, at Ron Schneeberger. And if you want to follow him there, you might want to put that over there in the comments. You can go there to follow Ron. But what we want to do is the ability we just want to teach the basics. And the way that it works out, if one of us can't make it, another person can. It's a team deal. And that's all I had.
After the way things went today, I probably have 100 people unfollowing me instead of following me.
I don't think so.
Folks, I got good news for everybody. Friday will be hopefully not my last day, but my last day for doing this blab for a week long. And Lindsay's going to take over next week, and he's going to do it. So you might be happy to know that you only have to put up with me for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and then you'll get somebody new.
Yeah, and I can hear them coming in on Monday going, "We won't run. We won't run." So
yeah,
that's right. The Lindsay's going to take over next Monday.
But anyway, I don't really have too much more to say. If you want to learn the advanced stuff, how Eileen Smith and some of those others that have been on Blab for a while, we don't go into using manicams and lower thirds and stuff like that. We want to get you started on the basics so that you know how to get into a Blab, get familiar with it, start your own Blab, and you learn from there. If somebody's new coming in here and we start putting all this advanced techniques, in, they're going to realize, oh, this is too hard for me to do, and it's really not. So that's all I have to say. Lindsay, do you have anything to say? Oh yeah, here, let Shelley come in.
As to whether or not
I forgot to remove my Post-it note over my camera. 2 questions I have. Yesterday, I tried to give Lindsay more props, and I couldn't. And so I wanted to know how to do that. And today, I had subscribed to this Blab, but all of a sudden it was like partway through, oh my gosh, I forgot to get on. So how do we get on? If we've subscribed and we didn't receive any notice.
You want to answer that, Ron?
Well,
sorry.
I don't know why the props stopped going unless there's a limit and you went over that limit, but that would be pretty high, as far as the limit. As far as subscribing, I think
I love your sense of humor.
Well, thank
your sense
you.
of humor is great.
Yeah, well, it comes naturally when you don't have a brain in your head. It kind of works out that way. But as far as the subscribing, I think that just lets it goes on the comment stream there or to the host that you subscribe. I haven't gotten a notification from anywhere that to let me know in 30 minutes that it's going to start.
The short answer to that is this. That's why we bought the domain learnblab.com. It automatically takes them to the current. I change that every time we set one up each morning. I redirect that to the Blab for today. So if they go to learnblab.com, even if they don't get a notification, even if you're talking to a friend of yours and they can't get anything else, you can just send them a link to learnblab.com and it will bring them to whatever the current. They can subscribe to the current one if it's not running at that time, or they can join the current one if it is running. And then Shelley, on your mouse, I don't know. I've not experienced that, so I don't know. But that's the short answer to that, Ron. It's just tell them go to learnblab.com. They can roll right in.
And Lindsay, do you have anything to say?
I always have a lot to say, but it's not really important.
I want to hear what Make Me Heart says about. She has a solution for the subscribing issue. I'd like to know what that is. Why don't you just join in and tell us?
Come on in, Candy.
Yeah.
Or
let's make me a heart.
Make me a heart.
Candy's all the way from Tokyo.
Konbanwa from Tokyo.
Konbanwa.
Konbanwa. And hi, it's nice to see you again, Stan and Ron.
Tell us your little secret on getting notified.
Okay. okay, this is one thing about you have to understand by PC and all of this. Once you got subscribed, first, if you're running in Chrome, make sure your system is updated. Okay, that's one. First, update your Chrome. Number two, when you're trying to subscribe that one in those scheduled one, automatically after those subscription, after that, you automatically get the replays by email for that automatically once you have subscribed.
Yeah, it won't. It'll take them to them after it's done. If you've subscribed, you're going to get an email that says this is completed, so you can go there.
Yes, exactly. Just make sure you subscribe in a proper way. Sometimes you cannot get anything. Sometimes you do. If that happens, go to Team Blab by Twitter and direct them by sending them the DM for that link, for that. So they can send you the replay ASAP. That's why. If you know who are the people in Blab, the Blab team, that's why.
Yeah, I know who they are. I'm just looking. I'm answering something else over here about a Blab that they've subscribed to, and then
I'm going to log out. Would you make me a harp in, Ron?
Yeah, and find out what she was talking about there too. I also don't get notified when a Blab I've subscribed to goes live. Okay, well that's because you don't have notifications turned on. That's why you don't get them, Nancy, in Wisconsin.
Exactly.
Is that when you go first go into Blab, you're going to be asked, like every time you go in there, until you accept the notifications, there should be this big green bar across the top that says
it's a violet
notifications.
Allow notifications.
Yeah, and then the pop-up notifications that you click that, and then you can go into once you do that, you can go up to your picture, and under the picture, not under profile, but under settings, you're going to have a thing that says email me when someone follows me. You can actually see that now. And if that's like grayed out and you can't select it, that means you haven't turned the notifications on. So
for me, instantly, I don't do that. I turned all off the notifications, but still I can get all the subscriptions that I want to see by the shows.
Yeah.
You have two options. You have to turn it on or you have to turn it off. Or the other thing is, if you're going to just register that one and the pop-up one is there already, just push that one so you can get the notification time to time, and so you can subscribe by that one. That's why.
That only works on my computer when it goes live. Yes, that would be true.
It also works in iOS.
Yeah.
I'm running down in iOS.
Yeah, I don't run iOS. By the way, Christy, we can't hear you right now. But,
yes, there we go. I muted myself. Sorry.
I'm a big fan of yours.
Oh, thank you, Stan.
Yeah. I stalk you all. I watch your blabs all the time.
Well, so my blabs are all over the map. You never know what you're going to get when I'm on the screen.
Yeah. So you know why we do the 25 minutes? Like, we're going to talk about this, and get through the basic stuff and say, now you know how to do this other thing. Yeah. So I want to hear what your other solution is.
You know what my longest blab is before I talk about that? 19 hours.
Well, I did that before the computers and the internet came up.
19-hour blab. Yes. So, yeah. So I'm not the champion.
What's your solution? Your solution for notifications?
For notifications, because they don't really have that notifications down to a science. I love Google Calendars. I have Google Calendars for everything. I have 2 new Google Calendars in my setup. I have one for Blab hosting and one for Blab watching. And so every time I go and subscribe to a Blab, I grab the link, I figure out who the host is, and I put everything into Google Calendar. I set up all my alerts so that I know what time, because I do a lot of co-hosting. I'm not always the host, but I do a lot of co-hosting. I do a lot of community management and moderating. So I want to make sure that I am there half the time because of Google Calendar. Thankfully, I'm now early, and I usually get there before the host. So I need to make sure a lot of times that I'm prepped up with all my links and all my copy paste that I need to have ready to go. So for me, being on time or early is extremely important when it comes to Blab. So I use Google Calendar, and that's my solution, because I get text messages, I get all my computers alert off. I don't think I've ever been late to a Blab. So
yeah, that's a really good, that's a good solution. You know, by the way, those of us that know this person, I don't know if you know her or not, but you are the kindred spirit to Debbie Davis. I don't know if you know her or not.
I don't.
What?
Debbie Davis just is like
David Davis is.
Yeah.
Okay, like, educate me, peoples. Educate me.
Debbie Davis. You can say to Debbie, you can say like, Debbie, what were you doing on March 23rd, 2012? And she goes like, hold on a second. Oh, I was eating a hot dog with onions, but no cheese at, you know, and you go like, okay, but she's you're a kindred spirit. Her and I did some shows. We did some shows over on Google Plus for about 9 months or so. So she was like,
yeah. Well, I will say I was a productivity consultant for Franklin Covey, so kind of having your stuff together is kind of my thing.
So if you don't have an agenda, don't show up. That's the deal, right? Basically, and I'll show you kind of what this looks like. You can see now. This is Sunrise Calendar, because I also use a productivity tool called Trello, which my whole life goes into Trello. I prefer digital to paper, but you can see I use a different icon for hosting. Mm-hmm. So you can see I use that little movie clapboard for hosting. And then when I'm actually watching, I'll show you a watching one. You can see Bianca's. I just used the Mac icon. And so I actually put who's doing it, the entire title of the Blab. It's in there. I set at least 5 alerts. I'm not kidding. I'm ridiculous. I set the maximum number of alerts that I can have. And that's what I do to make sure that I am on time. And so how many do you attend a day?
Don't ask.
Well, actually, we could say this. In one day, she attended one because it was 19 hours.
It was 19 hours. Yeah. Most days I try to show up and support at least 3 or 4. It's not a predetermined number. I try to support people that I know have been supportive to me, especially if they ask, especially if they make me aware of their show. I try to show up if I can. I'm also trying to run 3 businesses, and I'm a full-time stay-at-home mom. So that as well, I juggle. Besides, I volunteer at 2 different organizations. So I am a little busy, but I do try to make time for Blab and for the blabbing community, because I think it's important that we support one another. So I usually host about anywhere from 4 to 8 shows a week, and then I usually watch at least 10 to 15 shows a week.
Christy, I want to thank you for the comment you made. It's impressive that I've been on Blab for 9 days. I've actually been on longer than that.
What? I saw that on your other account. Yes.
Yeah, on your account. Okay.
That's why I was like, wow, I really know some stuff in 9 days. Yeah.
For 9 days?
Yeah. Well, on this account.
Are you serious?
It's just with the Circadians for 9 days that I've been on Blab.
Oh gosh.
It's a process so that everybody can, like I said, so that somebody can, if somebody's not here, somebody else can log in as them and run the Blab, you know, because like my dog, I had to put my dog to sleep one day last week, and 15 years. But during that day, it was like, okay, who's going to log in as me? Who's going to do this? And so that's the solution to it, is to set it up as like I said, in our community, we're a guru-free zone. And by the way,
Oh, exactly.
Carlos, nobody can talk. Do you know Carlos at the Lounge Network?
Yes.
We're not. Nina's
We're
going
on
to
our
cut this off and come in here, Stan.
So I'm jumping up because I'm having an interview by Blab tomorrow by 6 o'clock PDT time. That's why, and I'm very busy. You know, guys. You know, Stan and Ron. I'm busy.
Yep. Thanks, Candy.
I'm really a busy girl. That's why, and the G plus for that is already scheduled. That's why, and my show here in Blab, I'll be a guest here by 2. That's why, and I have to keep up with that and all my schedules and everything. So we're seeing you guys, and we'll be keeping you in touch in all my platforms and everything. So we'll see you guys from everybody here. Oh, Yasmin Asai from Tokyo. Mwah. Arigato.
Bye, Candy. It's nice to meet you.
Christy, thank you for joining us. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. And like I said, and Nina, I completely appreciate the welcome. Thank you so much. And I will tell you, one of the things that I love about what you guys are doing, and this is something that I try to speak to, there are 2 schools of thoughts to me on Blab. There are some people who feel, oh no, look, somebody's doing the same thing that I'm doing. Oh no. And then there's other people that sit there and go, oh, that's awesome. They're doing the same exact thing that I'm doing. I am one where I'm involved in multiple projects on Blab, one of which is doing one of the more detailed shows that you talked about, Ron. And I love what you guys are doing, because I feel like all of us that are teaching others how to do Blab, it's important to have many of us doing it, not just 1 or 2 people, because the crowd that resonates with you might not like my personality, might not like my co-host personality. So they're going to get something out of what you do. You might teach them something that we don't even think to teach them. There might be, I know there's another social media guy that he has some Blab training coming up in the next month. He's going to handle it a totally different way than all of us do. So I think it's important, and I think it strengthens what each of us do, and I think it'll strengthen each of our networks.
Thank you, Christy.
Yeah,
Shelley, I love Shelley back in here. You might have a question.
Okay, I'll let him take off.
Christy, I just realized that, you know what? I wasn't following you. I know it's like, but I have seen you. I've probably been in the audience of about probably at least 5 to 10 Blabs with you. And I'm like, she's got her stuff together. You know, a lot of it was with Stern, right? Yeah. A lot of people are in the Blabs with Robert. So
since I'm the cheerleader
Tell me
of the
what's your
group,
question.
I don't have a question. I just want to say, since I'm the cheerleader of the group, I want to say that Ron has learned a lot from Stan. And I do not know any technology except going back to the early 1970s. So definitely Stan and Ron, kudos to you. And
Shelley, have you
kudos to
been watching the
everybody.
Blab today?
Yes, I came in the middle, and I was the one who asked the
You might want to
question about,
rethink of saying I learned a lot from Stan and that I know what I'm doing.
because I get the little blabs.
I'll see you, Christy.
Bye-bye, Christy.
Bye-bye. Thanks loads.
Shelley,
just
thank
to
you.
kind of wrap up, Ron, is to let everybody know, the ones that have just come in, you can see the replay by going to the Circadians profile, and that we do this every morning at 10 a.m. You can get here by going to learnblab.com. It will bring you straight to here. So there's nothing you need to remember other than that. And that to address something that Christy said, is that what our real goal is to allow those people who are having blabs about subjects other than Blab to be able to have the people come in and talk to them, rather than spending all the time with, how do you do the queue? How do you do this? How do you do that? So that's what we just want to do, the simple stuff. And now I'm going to hush.
I got at the bottom of my little sign that says stop recording. I'm going to do that now.